Hello my fellow residents. So, Sony just made a big announcement saying that their PlayStation VR headset is going to come in at a cost at about $400 to $460 to $470 if you get it bundled with that PlayStation camera, and that price is American, which means that those dudes are probably going to win the whole VR battle in the future, because at that price they're coming in at about $100 to $200 to even $300 less compared to their competitors, the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift. This is pretty insane because that price is really low. Now I know it still sounds really expensive, but let me break it down for you, and then I think by the end of this video, you'll agree with me that Sony is gonna win this whole VR thing. Now the differences in hardware is a very interesting thing to me. See, the HTC Vive is going to have these sensors that go up on your wall. You're going to have to clear out a big space in your room, and it comes with 2 motion controllers. They're putting in a lot of effort into making this thing feel like a totally unique VR experience. Now the Oculus Rift and the PlayStation VR are more neck and neck. They kind of are designed about the same way, but there's a very big difference when it comes to price. Now the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift pretty much require the same kind of computer, a very expensive, close to $1,000 computer just to be able to run games and utilize those headsets. But see, the PlayStation VR, not only is it cheaper by itself, but when it's bundled with a PlayStation 4, the price is sub $1,000 American, which means by the time you've bought one of these other computers just to run those things, you could be buying a PlayStation 4 bundle completely together. And for consumers, well, if you told somebody to go to the store and just buy one of these things, well, they would probably buy the PlayStation 4 because it's that much easier. Everything comes in one box. And that is super important for consumers. Like, it's one of the most important things ever. But it's not the only thing that really puts the PlayStation VR ahead of the competition. The software. The software is really where it's going to kick the other guys in the teeth. Let me run this scenario by you. Now you've got these 3 Blu-ray players. One can go online, one can play video games, and the third one sprays perfume at you when you put in certain discs or something. Whatever. Each one of these Blu-ray players offers a unique feature, but all of them can play high-definition Blu-ray movies. Now here's what's going to happen with pretty much any new technology. Some people are going to utilize those specific features. Some people might utilize the features that play video games, some might utilize the online functionality, and some may use that really stupid perfume idea. But here's what's going to happen. The majority of people making films and releasing them on Blu-ray are going to make sure that at the very end of the day, their movies work on every single platform. So it doesn't matter what Blu-ray player you buy, unless you really want that perfume thing, most of them are just going to utilize the functionality of running a movie. So most of them won't use the function to go online or perfume or play games. And this is exactly how VR is basically going to evolve. They're going to make basic VR games. All developers are going to want to release games that can be sold on every platform. So when you think of the HTC Vive with all of its crazy stuff going on, well, the majority of developers that are making VR games are going to make things that work on the cheapest model. So they're probably going to make things that work on the PlayStation VR and the Oculus Rift. And if they are looking for ultra ease of access for consumers, they're probably going to make it on the PlayStation 4 because, well, the consumer has greater access to that stuff because at the end of the day, it's a lot cheaper. So they're going to make really basic games that run on the PlayStation VR, and they're going to use that as basically the one system that works on everything else. It doesn't matter if you have a really expensive system, if you're making games on it, you have to make sure that people have access to that stuff. And, well, most people that want to sell games on these platforms are probably going to look at the cheapest option, PlayStation VR. So really, that's kind of how it's going to play out. The PlayStation VR is most likely going to win because it's the cheapest model to buy, the cheapest one to get in a bundle, and developers are going to go to it because, well, it doesn't matter how many cool features everybody else has, they just want that VR thing that just works. Heck, even if the PlayStation VR comes out and it sucks, it's still going to sell a lot, and it's probably going to be the thing that all the developers choose. So that's kind of how they're going to win the war. Not because they made really expensive technology or made something better than anybody else. They're going to win simply because, well, they knew what consumers wanted.